We're all trying to get better, right? Better at our jobs, better in our relationships, better at just managing the chaos in our own heads. But what if I told you that the key to leveling up in all of these areas wasn't a bunch of different skills, but actually just one?
I mean, it feels like the ultimate balancing act, doesn't it? How do you crush it on a huge work project and then turn around and be fully present in a conversation with someone you love? On the surface, it feels like you need two completely different toolkits. One is all logic and spreadsheets, the other is all heart and emotion. But what if that's not true? What if mastering both your career and your connections comes down to training one single fundamental skill? Well, it turns out that is exactly the case. And that master skill is something we can call directed attention. Simply put, it's the ability to consciously choose where you place your mental energy. And let me tell you, in the world we live in today, that is an absolute superpower.
Because this is so much bigger than just trying to avoid distractions while you work. Where you put your attention literally dictates your mood, how you handle your emotions, and how much you actually connect with other people. It basically shapes your entire experience of being alive.
Okay, so how does this really work inside our brains? To get a handle on that, we're going to borrow a fantastic model from neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman. He gives us this really clear, visual way to think about the actual biology of focus. I want you to imagine your focus is an arrow, and for that arrow to fly straight and true and actually hit its target, it needs three distinct parts. And the cool thing is, each part is powered by a specific chemical reaction happening in your brain. So, let's break it down. First, you need the shaft of the arrow. That's your general alertness and energy. This is driven by epinephrine, which you probably know better as adrenaline. Next, you need the arrowhead. This is what makes your attention sharp and precise, what lets you aim. That comes from a neurochemical called acetylcholine. And finally, what actually makes the arrow fly? You need an engine. That engine is dopamine, and it provides the motivation to keep you locked on that target. All right, so that's the signs for focusing on something out there, like your work. But what happens when that arrow of yours gets yanked off course? Not by a notification, but by something coming from inside of you.
And this is where we get to the really juicy stuff. We're pivoting from the science lab to real life. Because what if the most powerful force hijacking your attention isn't your phone at all, but your own ego? That deep-seated need to be right, to be seen, or to be validated.
A user on Reddit just put it perfectly with this quote. When our ego is steering the ship, our arrow of focus isn't aimed at understanding or connecting, it's aimed at winning. And the cost of winning that battle can be absolutely massive. And we all know what this feels like, right? It's that compulsive need to prove your point. It's arguing just for the sake of winning. Or maybe the most common one, not actually listening to someone because you're too busy planning your perfect comeback. That, right there, is your attention being hijacked by your ego. So, what do we do about it? How do we train ourselves to aim our attention more skillfully, both when we're at our desks and when we're talking with people we care about? Well, here's the beautiful part. The solution is exactly the same for both. Let's go back to Dr. Huberman's work. He explains that the goal of focus training, like meditation, isn't to achieve some state of perfect, unbroken concentration. Come on, nobody can do that. The real workout, the part that actually builds the mental muscle, is the act of refocusing. It's that moment you notice your mind has wandered and you gently, without judgment, just guide it back. And this right here, this is the whole game. This is the big aha moment. For your work, you're training your brain to notice you've drifted away from a task and to bring your attention back. For yourself, in a tense conversation, you're training your self-awareness to notice an ego-driven reaction and choosing to bring your attention back to a place of understanding. It is the exact same mental muscle. The reps you do forcing your attention back to a boring email build the exact same skill you need to notice you're about to argue just to win and instead choose to really listen. So, you see, the power to radically improve your productivity and your relationships is already there. It's not about learning two different things. It's all about getting better at choosing where you direct that arrow of focus. This quote from another Reddit user just captures the transformation perfectly. This is what the shift feels like. It's moving from a focus that's been hijacked by your ego to a focus that you are consciously aiming at a better, more constructive target. So in the end, mastering attention isn't some mystical quest to eliminate all distractions. It's simply about getting better and better at choosing your target And it doesn't matter if that target is a line of code on your screen or the simple act of being present and empathetic with another human being. Ultimately, your attention is the most valuable currency you have. It's the raw material you use to build your life, moment by moment. So the only question left to ask is, where are you going to choose to invest it?